Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here, Ala, with Ala's World of Stocks. And you know what, guys? I had just put out a best AI stocks for 2025 video. I gave you three of them. Today, giving you two bonus ones, two more AI stocks. Maybe I'll do a third video with another two bonus. Let me know if you want that. If you do want more AI stocks, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments. But for now, I'm giving you another two bonus ones. I'm going to do one lower risk, safer AI stock, really good one. And then another one for the second stock, it'll be a little higher risk, a little more speculative. Okay, so we'll do it that way. But yeah, these are two AI stocks that I really love. If you didn't see part one, where I give you three other AI stocks, I'll link it in maybe a pinned comment, and in the description, I'll link it for you. So click on that and you can watch the part one. This is part two, giving you two bonus AI stocks today. Okay, so let's kick it off. You know what, guys? I can't talk about the best AI stocks without including my personal number one largest investment, the big dog, the mighty Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT, who, not only kind of kicked off the recent AI train by backing the generative AI leader OpenAI, which they're now integrating ChatGPT into virtually all their products and services that they sell through their new Copilot feature. It's powered by it, really, which they're just in the early stages of monetizing and charging fees for. That's going to be huge for subscription revenue long term. Mark my words, guys. It's going to be big for them, and it's just going to scale up larger over time. But on top of all of that, Microsoft could easily be argued for being the biggest, I would say, facilitator of AI of any other company out there. Not only dominating the PC space with Windows, but also being the second largest in cloud computing, only behind Amazon. And when it comes to business specifically, nobody even comes close to their enterprise AI offerings either, and especially through the cloud, which I think is just being heavily slept on. I mean, companies need Microsoft's tools and services and infrastructure, really, to enhance their productivity, streamline workflows, collaborate more efficiently, have all their employees be able to work on things together, and enable decision making at large scale for millions of organizations worldwide with the power of artificial intelligence. And when you look at Microsoft with Windows, with Office, and Azure, all of it enhanced by AI, that's exactly what you'd get. Now, is the stock expensive? Yeah. Not only is the stock at a record high, but their market cap only trails Nvidia and Apple in the entire world. And yet, I still think that it's a long-term buy, and here's why. Financials are incredible, with over 200 billion in sales and close to 100 billion in pure net income profit on a yearly basis. Yet they're still growing at a huge double-digit rate for that size. I mean, how many companies can you even name that can do that kind of profitability on pure net income, by the way, and still be growing it at a double-digit rate, at a solid double-digit rate at that? And that's expected to continue even in several years to come out, as far really as analysts can see. It's absolutely incredible. Nobody can match that. Maybe just a couple companies, but it's heavily unmatched in the market. Now, the business is fantastic, not only dominating PC software and cloud and everything else, but even in areas that you might not think of, like gaming. They've invested heavily into that, and of course, just artificial intelligence in general, which, by the way, we talked about the Trump factor before in the last video. I guess I'll give it away. We talked about Meta, and we talked about some stuff going on there with Zuckerberg getting friendly with Trump and stuff. Well, more recently, Trump actually announced Project Stargate. This is a $500 billion initiative to build out AI infrastructure. It's absolutely massive. It's what everybody's talking about. You talk about artificial intelligence, everybody's talking about Project Stargate, this being the next giant thing to happen in AI. And guess who two of the biggest partners are for that project? OpenAI is probably might be the biggest, but OpenAI it's definitely in the top three, like with Oracle and what was the other one? SoftBank is also heavily involved. But yeah, there's multiple players, but OpenAI is one of the absolute biggest, but Microsoft is also a huge player. And by the way, Microsoft is heavily invested in OpenAI. They've been backing them really since the beginning, and they own actually a big share of OpenAI. I think they don't disclose exactly how much, but they've invested in them like every investing round. Microsoft has been there, pouring billions into that company. Now, This, I think, will be a massive opportunity for not just them, but also AI in general, with phase one of Project Stargate already having 10 giant data centers under construction in Texas, each of them being around, get this, guys, 500,000 square feet each. That's about the size of the Miami Convention Center. These are massive data centers that we're talking about here. Now, not to mention, you remember how we talked about quantum computing in part one? We talked about it with Google and how big I think quantum computing is going to be in terms of being able to solve problems in a matter of minutes that other even some of the world's fastest supercomputers, it would take them insane amounts of years to complete. Google said that one of the things they can do in like 5 minutes, other supercomputers, it would take them, what was it, 10 septillion years? I mean, you can't even fathom that amount of years. Anyway, quantum computing is going to be gigantic. Well, Microsoft is actually integrating quantum computing too into Azure with both quantum hardware and software so that developers can use the platform to create quantum applications. I mean, that in itself is also going to be a really big deal. Everyone's going to flock to Microsoft, flock to Azure so that they can get developments going on with quantum computing. All of this is very impressive stuff. And it's just another example of how Microsoft, I think, is going to be at the forefront of this entire AI movement. Okay, with that said, I'll give you guys one more stock here for now. This one is going to be a lot riskier, a lot more speculative. That's because they're not actually profitable. We talked about Microsoft being insanely profitable. This one doesn't even generate a profit, not yet. But the company is C3.ai. And the reason I like this one is because I kind of think of them as like a sort of Palantir clone. It's a much smaller, more risky one, not profitable one, but one that also has a lot of future potential as an alternative option to many of the things that Palantir can do. Now, spoiler alert, if you didn't see that part one video, Palantir was one of the stocks, and I gave tons of reasons why I love Palantir for the future. So don't get mad at me. Don't say, how could you say C3 and not mention Palantir? Palantir was mentioned in the previous video. But I just think C3 has an opportunity here of being a smaller stock with also similar types of potential. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly the same as Palantir, but they do offer many similar things. As the name implies, they also specialize in AI software, providing data analytics for any company that needs it across a multitude of different industries. For example, many financial institutions use C3's machine learning capabilities to detect fraud across a giant amount of financial data that humans might otherwise miss, which has already shown to decrease false positive alerts by a whopping 85%, while also increasing the accuracy of suspicious activity by as much as 200%. It's also used for smarter lending, where it improves the efficiency and accuracy of risk monitoring and loan acceptance, and it even gets used for large-scale asset management like in the oil and gas sector, where they've shown to reduce unplanned downtime by as much as 50% while also reducing maintenance costs too. Even more recently, during the devastating fallout of the pandemic that crippled the economy, many businesses, super high inflation, interest rates, everything else going on. But really, one of the biggest things that people don't, talk about as much anymore. But if you remember, during the pandemic, one of the biggest disruptions that we had to the economy was supply chain disruptions. Well, those companies that actually turned to C3 were able to solve many of those supply chain issues by reducing inventory levels and holding costs by as much as 50%, while also reducing shipping costs by another 30% as well. Guys, this is just on a software level that C3 can come in and improve these companies by such a huge amount. And again, this just proves really what I would say is how valuable of a service this is, like that of Palantir or C3, that even during the worst economic conditions, companies are going to be turning to these providers of AI software and analytics to solve many of their problems. And that's why I think demand will always be there for these types of companies. That's why I can't really envision them ever going away. And I think they're going to be leading in AI. And it's exactly the reason why we have seen demand continue even during those horrible times, with revenue growth actually accelerating greatly for C3 over the past year. Again, even despite the economy not doing well at all. Now, this also is coming off a hugely important deal signed with Guess who? Microsoft, that we just talked about, right? Well, the two companies are not only collaborating on new enterprise AI products through Azure, but this is also going to give C3 a much greater addressable market too, while also enabling them to deploy their AI solutions much more quickly and more easily through the cloud. So C3 was already a very valuable service that they offered. It's even more valuable now. It's only getting stronger. And just like Palantir, C3 also works with government contracts too, doing things like helping law enforcement and the military with crime monitoring, spatial awareness, strategic planning, and much more. Now, like I said, it's a lot riskier of a play here because they're not yet profitable. They too have seen their stock climb a bit more recently. However, from their IPO in 2020, the stock has actually lost around half its value. So if you want what could be at least a sort of mini alternative to Palantir that is just getting started with a much smaller valuation by both market cap as well as price to sales ratio, insanely smaller by comparison, I think C3 is a stock here to consider for the future of AI. All right, guys, if you want another 2 bonus AI stocks, let me know. I'm thinking about it. I'll make a third video for you guys. I'll give you another 2 AI stocks. I got so many in my head. I love AI stocks, but yeah, I could talk about this all day. You could probably tell I'm pretty passionate about this stuff. But yeah, anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you for stopping by, my friends. Thank you for all your support. It means the world to me. I hope you're all doing well out there. And I will catch you in the next video. Make sure you're subscribed. More content's coming. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.